Welcome to the Professional Installer's Guide to Installing WarmWire. You can install WarmWire in new construction or remodeling. It can be installed over concrete, cement backerboard, or even plywood. Almost any kind of floor covering can be used, including carpet, laminate, tile, or stone. The installation we're featuring looks like this. WarmWire is installed over cement backerboard in thin-set mortar and then covered with ceramic tile. The power lead goes up the wall to an electrical box where you'll locate the floor sensing control. 120-volt power comes from the circuit box or an existing circuit to the control. A sensor wire runs from the control to the floor. Each reel of WarmWire is built with a single heating element wire and a 10-foot power lead. The metal braided power lead is the only connection you make to the power source. At one end you'll find 3 exposed wires, color-coded for proper connection to your power supply. Sold separately is this floor strap, used to secure the wire to the floor. Each reel is 25 feet long, which covers approximately 50 square feet of installed product. You'll also need a basic floor sensing control like this non-programmable floor stat, or the one we'll be showing, a programmable floor stat with a 7-day schedule to maintain the desired temperature. For larger areas with multiple rooms, you can use this group stat floor sensing thermostat with remote location control. All 3 controls include a sensor like this one, which must be embedded in the floor to sense the floor temperature. Here are some of the tools and materials for your installation. Electrical installers will need a single gang extra deep electrical box, 12 or 14 gauge electrical wiring cable depending on your local code, drywall saw, a nail guard to protect the power leads at the base plate, a 15 or 20 amp circuit breaker if you get power from a circuit box, a digital multimeter with a range of 20,000 ohms, a fish tape, a loudmouth monitor, and assorted hand tools. If you have 1 or 2 spools, the single gang extra deep box works fine. If you have more than 2 spools, we recommend a 2 1/8 inch deep 4-inch box with a mud ring sized to the depth of your drywall. Or use the 4-inch square box as a junction box with a cover plate and use the single gang box for your control. Flooring installers will need latex or polymer modified thin-set mortar or self-leveling compound, a square notch trowel like this cable trowel, hot glue gun, hammer and wood chisel, tape measure, 3M90 adhesive, metal shears, screw gun, and screws. Before getting started, pay attention to these precautions. Don't install WarmWire under flooring without first embedding it in a layer of mortar. Don't embed WarmWire in glues, caulks, or adhesives. Always use a latex or polymer modified thin-set mortar to completely embed the heating elements and factory connection. Don't ever cut the silver heating wire for any reason, and be careful not to damage it with the edge of your trowel. Don't attempt to repair the heating wire. Instead, call toll-free at 888-432-8932 for instructions. Don't install one wire on top of another. This will cause dangerous overheating. Don't forget to install the floor sensor. Don't install WarmWire under cabinets, built-ins, or walls. Excessive heat will build up under these features. Don't remove the nameplate UL label at the end of the mat. Your installation must be protected by a ground fault circuit interrupter, or GFCI. Smart controls already have GFCI in them. Otherwise, you must use a GFCI-type circuit breaker at your panel. The first step is to use a good quality digital multimeter to check the performance of both the cable and the sensor wire. Look for models that measure up to 20,000 ohms. Ohms are represented by the omega symbol. If your test leads are not attached to the meter, insert the red lead into the omega jack and the black lead into the COM jack. Set the scale to a low setting like 200 ohms. Make sure the leads are not attached to any power supply or to other cables. Here we're using the 120 volt version. At the end of the power lead, you'll find 3 exposed wires: the white neutral wire, the black hot wire, and the green ground wire. Hold either the red or black test leads to either the white or black wires and note the value shown on the meter. Make sure this number falls within the resistance range printed on the label of each cable. Next, touch the meter leads to the white and green wires and then the black and green wires. The display should not change. Conduct these tests when you take the spool from the box, after the wire is fastened to the floor, and after the finished floor covering is complete. Write down your readings in your manual's resistance log. Don't forget to check your floor sensor before installation. Set the scale to 20,000 ohms, which is shown here as 20K. Hold the test leads to the sensor wires and compare the values to this chart. A reading of 10.96 means the sensor shows the room temperature to be just below 75 degrees Fahrenheit, which is what our thermometer says, so the sensor is functioning properly. To continuously monitor your system during installation, we recommend you use a loudmouth. A loudmouth alerts you if a wire has been damaged or broken. It should be used along with a digital ohm meter. First, open the battery compartment and connect the included 9-volt battery. Replace the cover and turn the unit on. The alarm should sound and the red light should turn on. If not, inspect the battery connection or replace the battery. During normal use, the green light indicates that the loudmouth is operational, monitoring your heating elements for damage. If the green light goes out, replace the battery. Next, make sure the power leads and the loudmouth are not connected to any power source. If you are testing a single 120-volt radiant cable, locate the colored wires in the power lead. Insert and tighten the black and the white wire into either the L1 or L2 terminals. Either one is okay. Tighten the green copper ground wire into the G or ground terminal. Hang the loudmouth in a convenient location with the monitor switched on and the green light showing. If the red light and alarm come on, stop work and locate the damage to the heating elements. Pull the damaged wire free from the thin set and clean off 4 to 5 inches on each side of the break. Call 888-432-8932 for instructions. A loudmouth can monitor up to 3 mats or spools of warm wire at a time. To connect 2 spools, connect the black wire from the first spool into the L1 terminal. Connect a white wire from the second spool into the L2 terminal. Then use wire nuts to join together the remaining black and white wires. Then connect all the ground wires together with a wire nut and a jumper cable that goes into the G terminal. For a 3-spool connection, connect the black wire from the first spool into the L1 terminal. Connect the white wire from the third spool into the L2 terminal. Then use wire nuts to join together the remaining black and white wires in series with one another. Then connect all the ground wires together with a wire nut and a jumper cable that goes into the G terminal. Cables are connected in series for the loudmouth, but in parallel for actual use. Detach the loudmouth and all connections between the heating elements before you apply power from your circuit box. If you are using the loudmouth to test the 240-volt version of WarmWire, you will have a black, blue, and green set of wires. The black and blue wires connect to either the L1 or L2 terminals for a single set of elements as shown here. The green ground wire goes into the G terminal. For up to 3 240-volt spools, connect the black wire into the L1 terminal. Connect a blue wire from a different spool into the L2 terminal. Then use wire nuts to join together the remaining black and blue wires in series with one another. Then connect all the ground wires together into the G terminal using a wire nut and jumper cable. Then follow the previous instructions for testing and operating your loudmouth. First, locate the control on an interior wall away from direct sunlight and other heat sources. Make sure the power lead will reach the control. If not, think about where you can locate a junction box in a wall or under the floor so your power leads can connect to the Romex that goes back to your control location. Don't forget a cover plate. Go to this DVD's menu and you can see sections on mounting controls for new construction and remodeling.